We referenced this story on yesterday's show, and we're covering it today. That's right, because a SF dispensary owner apologizes after a leaked video generates outrage. And this is in regards to Off The Charts comments in the video that we covered earlier this week. A video leaked on social media last week that perfectly encapsulated one of the central issues in California's legal cannabis market. In the 30-second clip, Norman Yosef, founder and CEO of the dispensary chain Off The Charts, is shown apparently bragging that he has saved money by, in quotes, not paying the vendors. To add insult to injury, Yusuf seemed to specifically say that it was the fucking mom and pops that his company wasn't paying. In another quote, "We've saved hundreds and hundreds of thousands. I mean, if you don't have to pay, you don't have to pay," Yusuf said in the video. With that comment, Yusuf touched on a problem that has been rampant for years. California's cannabis farmers keep getting stiffed. They send their pot to cannabis stores, yet their invoices never get paid. They lose sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars at a time, and those losses put these smaller enterprises, including third-generation family farms, out of business. The video quickly, and just there is a company that's called Third Generation Farms, but that is not what it is referencing. It's referencing Third Generation Farms in general, just for speculation. The video quickly ricocheted across social media, where hundreds of people posted angry comments, calling Yusuf's comments disgusting and an example of everything that is wrong inside California's pot industry. Yusuf apologized for the statement in a phone interview with SF Gate, but said his quote was taken out of context. He declined to name where the video was taken or who he thought had released it, but said it was recorded and posted without his permission. The video was shared by dozens of different social media outlets, including on Instagram account called Big Red Farms, that received over 1,100 likes after it shared the video last Thursday. Yusuf said he is actively pursuing legal action against the people who released the video. He explained that the clip shows him discussing an incident from 5 years ago when he said a number of different brands went out of business and disappeared before Off The Charts could even pay them. In a quote, "I'm not the most polished person in the world. That was a big lesson learned from me," Yusuf told SF Gate. Yusuf added that the retail chain which has 19 stores, including one in San Francisco, has struggled to pay bills at times, but he said Off The Charts ultimately does always pay its vendors. In a quote, "My only flaw is paying them on time. Do they get paid? Absolutely. Do they get paid on time? Lately, this last year, not really," Yusuf said. Unpaid bills have become one of the biggest problems in the state's industry, with a massive debt bubble growing to over $600 million, according to a 2022 report. Pot stores not paying their bills contributed to the collapse of the state's largest cannabis distributor last year, even, Herbal. The problem has worked its way up to the state's tax collectors, and hundreds of pot shops failed to pay their state taxes last year and now face massive penalties. Observers say the backlog could cause an extinction event of businesses closures across the state, and Yusuf said the video shocked him when it was released and instantly made him regret his use of words, especially calling out these fucking mom and pops. He said he considers his own company a mom and pop and has supported many small cannabis operators in the past. That's why I'm kicking myself in the foot, Yusuf said. Well, this ongoing problem of vendors not getting paid in the cannabis market, man, oh man, and people putting their foot in their mouth and videos getting taken out of context. I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say, but this is his response to that video. And this is Jason Beck for the High at 9 News Hour. What do y'all have to say about this?
He's kicking himself in the foot. You kick yourself in the foot. You shooting yourself in the foot, man. Like we all saw the tape. We all saw the lady's reaction next to him as soon as he said that. Like, he should try not to be involved with that. Like, dude, like, I got nothing nice to say about this whole thing. He should just own up to it and he said what he said and become the bad guy.
Yeah.
Embrace the bad guy that you are, man.
That's right. That is
Be more respectable in my opinion.
I feel you on that. What do you think about this, Elise? All these brands not getting paid by stores, And in all fairness,
Yeah.
it's hard for these stores. Like, they have a lot of overhead. The retail component is the most expensive part that is affected the most by 280E. Then you have all the employees you have to pay for, security and all this. And so retail expense is exorbitant.
Yeah, I mean, this has been going on for years. I even remember when I was running a delivery service, and my boss at the time no longer would have the cash for me to pay the vendors. And for me, that was the writing on the wall. And that company no longer exists. But I think this guy's just the one who got caught on camera saying it, what we know has been going on. And even good operators. I mean, I have friends who've had delivery services and retail operations, and I know they struggle to pay their invoices. And having been on the sales side, I've sold a lot of products to retailers on terms, and also had a hard time collecting. It's part of why I don't do sales anymore. So, you know, this is just the nature of the game. I will say that I never heard of his retail store. I didn't even know they had one in San Francisco until this story broke out. So it's kind of funny. Like, it's not obviously good press, but now all of a sudden I've heard of Off the Charts. And I also think it's not great that new operators in new markets are seeing this press and probably getting ideas that maybe they didn't realize before, that they could stiff brands and farmers. And so I think this is just going to keep happening, as we know that it has. So I don't know the solution. It's a bummer.
You know, one of
really bad about the social equity retailers that they brought under their umbrella. I know, like 64 and Hope, Josephine and Billy's down here, and they've been having to deal with the backlash from this whole thing. And they are the mom and pop shops, and they actually pride themselves for working with a lot of and bringing on a lot of brands that come from mom and pop shops, and they're having to deal with the backlash of this guy and his comments caught on tape that had nothing to do with how they run their businesses.
I don't know if I would necessarily call it caught on tape, because like this was taken footage from their security cameras.
Still caught on tape.
I don't know if I call it caught on tape. Caught on tape is generally.
You think it was staged?
No, I don't think it was staged. I think this was a real conversation. But like I said in the previous episodes, I do want to see like the 10 minutes before the conversation, and maybe even like 5 minutes after what that clip has, just to have in full context. I would like to see that much, at least.
Okay.
That's just me.
Yeah. Okay.
Any thoughts on this, Dr. Mark?
Is somebody on their staff? I mean, it's CCTV.
Oh yeah, 100%. It got leaked from someone on the staff. Yeah, someone who had access to their security camera footage, because this is definitely their security camera footage.
Right.
Well, I think what Elise said is spot on. This story just draws attention to something that's happening all the time, right? So this dude was just caught, saying it. And, I would just add that this is just an unfortunate casualty in a race to the bottom. This is a race to the bottom, man. And people are trying to control costs. Shop owners are trying to stay open. The trap doesn't have to worry about any of this.
Exactly.
They pay their employees.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Speaking of which, the trap
bouncing in the trap.
Well, hold on. Speaking of the trap comments, so Canna Bowser says at least we get paid in prohibition states. No green equals no green. And Steve Blessingham, who watches the show every day, he has a restaurant in San Diego, and he says so that in the alcohol world, he says if you're more than 30 days late, they legally cannot deliver you your alcohol. I think I know where that came from. Now probably was a lot of alcohol stiffing back in the day of prohibition. He's saying. And so I wonder if that ultimately will be something if the state comes in and does try to implement something like that for retailers.
You got to protect the retail. You got to put some kind of checks and balances in there, man, because here there's like 90-day terms and shit like that, and like these companies are definitely going out of business. When's it gonna stop?
I will say, if you're a brand like, super hype, fire, you got the best, like, you can demand COD terms. Like, if you have a product that retailers want bad enough, they will pay you COD for it.
That's like 1% of the SKUs.
More reason to, don't grow boof or put boof out there. You'll get paid up front.
Yeah, that's just like 1% of brands, though. At least that's the very, very, very small percentage that can demand that also too have that kind of following for retail. So then that way their stuff always sells out too.
So what you're saying is we have way too many brands, and so there's like the natural course that a lot of them, it's the thinning of the herd, right? There's a lot of them are going to go extinct. They can't pay for shit. Like, they shouldn't be out there doing business. Like,
or Rico, let's hope it takes marginal producers and they could learn better techniques to make a higher quality product. Let's try to pull all boats up, not sink the weak sisters, right?
Yeah.
You know what I really wonder too is I wonder if where this camera footage was taken from, if they had signs posted about audio recording, because it is illegal in California to be recording audio footage with video footage without there being proper signage posted in the facility.
Maybe Yusuf put that camera up there and forgot about it.
Oh boy. We're going to keep this train rolling. We're